Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and today we're going to take a look at the tangle Nome from CZT Angie Gittles. All right. Oh, this is a neat one, and being that today is Thursday, the time of this recording, it's Tangle Time Day, and oh, did we ever have fun with this. Oh my gosh. All right, so I am just drawing a little box, a bit of a border, because it is a grid pattern, but you can make it fit into not necessarily a square grid, but a triangle grid or anything else you will see in the For More Inspiration link for sure. And I have some samples as well from our Tangle Times today. All right, so this one starts with an orb, and we're gonna do it in a square grid. Then you can play amongst yourselves. All right, with other shapes. All right, an orb, basically at the top of wherever you want this, and then you know what? I should do it the right way for me. Meaning using the curve of my hand. I hadn't been doing that, and no wonder I was like, why are these weird? Okay, so a C-shaped curve line, so coming out from about the center of that orb, and then one coming out to the other side, same idea. Then from that same place, we're going to do a curve line to one corner and then to the other. I find it easier if I'm doing a big curve to use the natural curve of my hand versus sometimes these kind is like, well, not so much, but it's sometimes still better than doing it like this. That's just me. Okay, now we have essentially Aura Fest. And we're going to start with these first sections we created. Although, as I joke a lot about, I couldn't draw stick people to save my life. Look at it! I did. It's kind of a fancy. It's a sort of a stick figure. Oh, it's well, wearing a dress, or we decided it could be an angel too, or something. Oh, really, really neat. Okay. So, working our way around the one side of the orb, we're going, we're going to follow the step out. There are variations, which I will explain. Okay, so I'm going to start here, so separating with a little distance, but the end, we're going to have them converge at this one spot. So however they end up lining up, and sometimes they might end up going kind of straight. And that's okay. And you can add a little extra flair in there. And then this side, same idea. But as I mentioned, we're working our way around the orb versus all, coming out of one area here. So again, you pick your distance. Yeah. There we go. Oh, maybe. Well, no, that's good. No, I feel like I need to make it even. I'll need to add a little one here. Okay. Next, we'll do these sections. And this, we're going to aura the curve line going that direction. And we're going to work our way up this curve line. So, starting here. And this is, I guess, more like a regular aura. So, just picking your distance. And, we try our best to maintain it, but whatever happens, happens. Sometimes the pen decides it wants to go a different direction. And until you have no more room. And then, same thing on the flip side. and working to maintain at least a little bit of curve, because it seems like sometimes, well, like right here, it starts to lose its curve and like go straight. So I feel like when I'm auraing a number of sections that I have to almost on purpose like that, just add in some curve so that way it's maintained. There's a tangle called Nippa, if you're not familiar, or if you're not familiar, I do have it a video on the channel. You can click on my name or my picture, and that'll take you to the homepage of YouTube, and you can search there. NIPA, and it's one where we put a bunch of orbs, and then you kind of do a squiggle line, and you're just auraing and working around and behind the orbs and stuff. And that one, because it's like, you start off with this nice curve, and then it's like, well, how does it get, I don't know. It's kind of like waves, right? They dissipate after a little bit, and it's just interesting. You wouldn't think that should happen with the pen, but at least we can control it a little bit. And that's what I wanted to mention, just so that way make sure that you're aware and watch your pen as you're going. Or in case afterwards you're like, how did that end up? Oh, well, okay. But then if you want straight, that's fine too. It's up to you. Oh, and as I'm just working and I'm talking and I'm not instructing. So in this last section, we're still same thing, auraing, but I draw a straight line down the center, so that way it's at least there, and then work my way auraing that line to this side, and then same thing to this side. And I do my best to pick a distance and stay. Like I said, sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. Okay. All right. Then, that's it, actually, except for shading. And shading, super important on this. So this is where the magic, of course, magic always happens when we shade. But because there's so many lines, it really needs it. But it depends on what you end up doing, and I'll show you. I'll show you a thought that I had and that I played with. So, normal Heather rules for shading, where there are perpendicular lines, so to speak. And I say it that way because I know some that have told me, I always have such a challenge deciding where to shade. And so this is one good way to think about it. It's like, okay, well, where there's something like this where it's perpendicular, which then shows it's like, it just means that when I see lines that are perpendicular, it tells me, oh, this is going underneath that. Because I will also say where things are tucked under, and it's, it just depends on what it is, right? So let's do those. So really, we're going on the outside of all of the lines that we created first. Which I love doing that, because a lot of times the ends of mine are a little messy, and it just, you don't see it anymore if you put some shading there. All right. And just, oops, let me get the other side. Just look at that. Oh my goodness. It's four layers. And then up here, you can, of course, turn it into whatever you want. You could fill it in. You just put a little C shape like this with the shading, and it makes it, look more like a stone. It gives it some shine without having to incorporate any other materials except for, your graphite and your Tortillion. I think that's fun. All right. That is it. But that's it, sort of. This is but one piece of the puzzle, so to speak. So you can use this as a fragment, which is what Angie did, and you can put it together. So this is a 4 square. where I did it in this position and then just turned my tile and then turned my tile and turned my tile. So I'm always doing the same thing. It just comes out different because, when we see, the end result, and that's fun. Then, let's see. And I'll show you this. I'm going out of my own order of when I did these. But this one, we had so much fun. Some of them you couldn't, if you didn't know it was the same tangle, and some were like, wait, how did you do that? What? This one, if you didn't know, but this I did this way, and then did the same thing here, and look at the cool pattern that came out of it. It's just really, really neat. You could do it the opposite way. And I believe Angie has on, this is the For More Inspiration link, and it's on Tangle Patterns. I believe she has a sample. Yes, she does below, where you can leave out the orbs. So some of her variations, you don't have to put on the orb. Also, this, you could make this straight if you wish. And, honestly, anything else that you think of, or, again, with or without the orb and all of that. And then, again, position them however you wish. One thing before I show you it in the triangle, I decided I wanted to play with thickening at the top. Just like we would use in the tangle Puyang, if you're familiar, or mycelium. I'm sure that there are some other ones that I'm just not thinking of. Those are two of the most recent new tangles from Zentangle. And I thought, well, let's just see what it would look like, because as we were playing with it, just by the nature of, putting the pen to paper, and if you have a little bit of a curve, like some of these, it ends up being a little bit thicker on the edge. And I thought, well, I wonder what that would look like. And it's kind of interesting. I could carry it down here, and I just might. I don't know. I wanted to see what that looked like at first. Could do it all the directions. It's just fun. Oh, and it reminds me, I forgot one place to shade. Where these guys converge. We did it on the one side. Yes. All right. Then, as I mentioned, you could also do it in a triangle. And so, again, take a look at the For More Inspiration link. And Angie has so many samples besides just what's on her step out. And I guess it's the second one down, where she says that she was working on her hidden Nome's Zendala design, and it's just gorgeous. But take a look, and is it on that one? Oh, that one. Well, it's done in a triangle, but the orb is up here. I mean, it's a more slender triangle, but the orb is up here. So you can do this in a number of different shapes. You just take a look at how, for instance, if you can picture, well, here, that helps, right? Put my fingers there. So you see the orb. These don't come out to a corner because there's no room. And these, no, we just kind of stop them, right there. So have fun with it. And see what you come up with. You might come up with something even cooler. All right. So, lot of fun. So many options for one little tangle. Oh my goodness. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please click on the like button. And if you liked it enough to see more, would love to have you be a subscriber to the channel. Below the links in the description section, you'll see the links for the step outs, my version, and then I always link to the creator of the tangle. And then below that is my link tree link that has links to everything. So you'll find a link to my website, Facebook page where you can follow me for classes and other information, Daily Tangle, which is what this is. You can follow my blog from my website, which that I do post the Daily Tangle as well as class replays and things like that. A link to our amazing Tangle Addicts community on Facebook. So if you happen to be on Facebook, we'd love to have you join our private group. We have a lot of fun, a lot of good conversation, and lots of just everything Zentangle. So, and then sometimes some extra things, who knows. Let's see, what else do I have in there that is of great importance? Well, I mentioned the classes a couple times. So if you would like to take part in something like this, and this is what we do, we play with the tangle. That's the only thing that ties it together. You know, we show ideas, and then however you want to play with it is however you want to play with it. You don't have to make something that looks complete. We have a number of people that will work in a sketchbook, and then they play with their different ideas, and it's kind of like a workbook. So it's whatever you end up wanting to do. It's all good. You can work on whatever you want with whatever materials you want. It's just a lot of fun. And the Tangle Times are free. I do, like I said, I do a lot of free classes, and then I do have some that are paid. But you will find those things on my website. I also have a couple links to follow me on Eventbrite if you happen to be on there. That's where I post classes also regularly and meet up. So you'll just find all of that and more on that Linktree link. So with that, as I'm losing my voice even more, thank you so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.